Hi class, so this is an overview of your research paper module, which is module number 6, and this is the last module you're going to actually do work on before the semester ends. So in this module, you will begin and complete your research paper. Your paper will be taken in 3 drafts, workshopped in class, and submitted through Canvas, through our virtual class. I will assign your peers to workshop your paper. So let's see how that works. So first of all, your research paper assignment. This is the assignment. So listen to this very carefully. You're going to develop one of the essays you wrote. So it could be the one on education, it could be work and economy and gender roles. What you're going to do is you're going to expand that paper, and you're going to develop your thesis and add more ideas to your research paper. So it could be your education essay, your work and economy essay, or your gender roles essay, whichever one you want to develop that you studied this semester and you thought was interesting. So you can change the position of your paper. So you can decide your position and your argument. So if you had a different position on education as you've developed through the semester, you can change your position on your paper, and you can just develop it. So you can do a lot of things with this research paper. You have to still have a strong thesis and title, and your paper must be workshopped and submitted through Canvas. And I'm going to talk about the workshop in the next few pages. So your paper is going to have different requirements than your essays, because this is a research paper. So your paper's works cited page must include a number of 8 sources. So you have to have 8 sources for your paper. So here's a breakdown of what you will include in your final draft. So you need to use at least 2 quotes from 2 essays in Rereading America. 6 sources have to come from the library database. You need to use a variety of sources from the library database. So I do have videos on the library database that I made for you, so you can use that as a reference. You will need to use quotes from these sources and paraphrase from them as well. So here's a breakdown of how the points are going to work for the research paper. So the paper in total is 200 points. You're going to turn in draft 1, which is going to be worth 50 points, draft 2, which is worth 50 points, and then the final draft, which is 100 points. So we're going to build from draft 1 to the final draft of your paper. So this is a video on how to do a workshop, and you can take a look at that later. And then I have a workshop discussion for you to do, and you can look at the questions and turn in this discussion as well. So the workshop is really a peer review. So there's some benefits to getting feedback from your peers, and also giving feedback to your peers. So you're going to highlight areas that worked well and write comments on their papers of your peers, and underline areas that need revision. And you're going to write a small note to the author, who is your peer. You're going to put that small note in their comments section on Canvas. So here's the first draft. So your draft must be 1 to 3 pages, typed double-spaced. Your paper must be written in a number 12 font. Your paper must be MLA format. You must have a working thesis. You must have a works cited page with at least 2 sources. And your workshop will be due on Canvas, and here's your date. That's the date that it's due. You will use the comments in class workshop to revise draft 1. Please note, students who fail to workshop will automatically be deducted 50 points. So please note that if you don't workshop a paper, you're going to be deducted 50 points. Now, if I give you a partner or partners and they don't upload their paper and you can't workshop it, I just want you to put in the comments, not available, and then I will know that you made the attempt to workshop, and I won't deduct your points for that. So you can just write not available, and that releases you of the obligation of having to worry about the workshop. So that's the only way I will not deduct 50 points from you. And then you have a discussion on the peer workshop, and obviously if you know, your experience can not only be from the comments that you got, but the comments that you gave to your peers as well. So draft 2, now I told you we're building, so by draft 2 you need to have 3 to 4 pages, and the requirements are the same, and then you have your due date on your paper. And so that's draft 2. So again, you're building, and then you're going to do another discussion on draft 2. Then I have a final discussion for you about what you learned from the overall process of this whole unit. And then here is a quiz that you need to take. It's worth 80 points and it's on MLA format. So please note that, that you have to take this quiz. This is part of your final exam. And then here is the final draft of the research paper that you're going to be turning in. So by the final draft, your paper must be 8 to 10 pages. So your works cited page has to have the 8 sources page, 8 sources, a minimum of 8 sources on your works cited page. So here's a breakdown. So you need at least 2 quotes from 2 of the essays and 6 sources from the library database. Now, please note that your 8 to 10 pages does not count the works cited page. It's implied. So you should have at least 8 written pages, and they should be full 8 written pages by the final draft. So that's what I meant by we are building for this research paper. So please keep that in mind, and I have a rubric for you, and you're going to turn this in on the due date, and that's it, and you're done with this module. And pretty much after you take that final MLA quiz, you're done with the class. So that's how we are separating the class, and that's what we are doing this semester with module number 6. So if you have any questions, send me an email, and have fun. This is supposed to be your research paper to develop your ideas.